Hi everyone, I'm Semaganda Joseph. Thanks once again for joining us on our YouTube channel. As always, I've got very important information for you. Today I'll be discussing kids management for proper growth. How can you maximize the growth of your kids? So first of all, we should know that in goat farming, or anyone who's doing sheep farming, the profits of the project are the kids that you do produce. So you should make sure that they grow up very well, and you should try as much as you can to avoid the mortalities in those kids so that the mortality doesn't exceed 5% maximum of your total kids produced. First of all, before we think about producing those kids, we should be well prepared by having a kids pen into existence, because we find some people produce kids even before preparing a pen where they should stay. Yet a kid's pen is very important to avoid overcrowding with the mothers and to reduce on the risks of mortalities. And again, we should have done proper steaming up, whereby you have to feed those pregnant mothers before they produce those kids so that they're properly fed, so they can have enough colostrum, so that by the time they produce the kids, they have enough colostrum which provide a security to the kids. Because we find that people complain that our goats don't have enough milk. Yes, at times it can be genetic, it can be in the family background, but again, some people don't do proper steaming up of those pregnant does or nannies which are pregnant. So it's very good that you make sure that your pregnant animals which are about to deliver, at least you provide them with those nutrients which are very necessary for the production of milk. So some people wait for their goats to produce, then they try to supplement them. It's far better you do that even before the kids are produced, because we know that colostrum acts as the security for those kids. So it's very good that you properly steam up the mothers by providing them supplements. Make sure the mothers have mineral blocks available. Maybe if you can access some spent grain, or if you have alfalfa, those pastures which are very good for them, then you have the results that you do want. So it's good to prepare the pregnant goats so that by the time they give birth, they have enough milk to help those kids to grow up very well. Another very important factor, if you are to have your kids grow fast and to avoid mortalities, is that you should make sure during the last month when those animals are pregnant, you give them the Clostridial vaccine so that those kids can access, because you know the Clostridio covers a lot of CDT, Clostridiols, tetanus. So when you make sure that you have vaccinated those pregnant does or your goats which are pregnant towards the last month, 3.5 months to 5 months, when you give them that Clostridio vaccine, you have better results, because those kids will access that vaccine via the colostrum, because by that time we believe that the goats have started putting in colostrum in their breasts, so that by the time these kids are produced, they will feed on the colostrum which has that Clostridio. Then you give it to them after a month. I hear people call it a booster shot, so that you can boost them again, give them, but at first they have to access it through the colostrum. So it starts when the animals which are going to produce, when they're still pregnant, so that your kids, and make sure that even the mothers which are going to produce, they're in good healthy conditions. Once the mothers are in good healthy conditions, you won't face so much problem. Once the kids are produced, make sure you treat the umbilical cord for at least 3 days, and make sure that for the first time mothers, you help them, because some of them are very stubborn, they don't want to feed their kids. So you make sure that at least they are properly fed, because you have done proper steaming up, you have taken care of the umbilical cord, and again make sure that your animals are in good healthy conditions. The major problem affecting the kids is the diarrhea, so make sure that you have sulfur drugs. Once you have those sulfur drugs, it will be easy for you to manage those diarrheas. And again, make sure that the kids are not overcrowded with the mature ones, and make sure that there's some grass in the kids' pain. And besides that, that's why we recommend synchronization. Synchronization helps your animals to produce in the same period of time. So if you are to give the vaccine, the CDT vaccine, it will be so easy and it will be economic at the same time. So if you are on free range, make sure that you start deworming your kids at least from 2 weeks. Make sure, because they have started nibbling on the grasses, make sure that you deworm them after every 2 weeks or a week or 10 days, especially in the rainy days. That will be very important to them, so that the accumulation of the worm doesn't affect the growth of the kids. Also have some multivitamin, at least give them multivitamin if after every 3 days. That will help them to grow very well and so fast, because we know that for those growth to become stunted, usually the worms affect them so much. You can start with dewormers like Albafast 10% or albendazole and give them like 2 to 3 mils of Albafast within 2 weeks time. So there, from there, you start the vaccination schedule from 3 months. And again, spraying those kids, because the ticks doesn't know that this is a kid that won't affect it. Make sure that you spray your kids from the first, once you are spraying like 3 to 5 days of, when those kids are 3 to 5 days, it's okay, you can still spray them, because we know that ticks don't want to know. So once all that is done well, you'll be able to have your kids grow faster. That's all I had for you today.